Welcome to day 2 of my Christmas countdown, kind of day 3 because I started with a teaser post, but if you didn't believe me that I would keep showing up every day, I don't believe you. I don't blame you because I'm not all that consistent a poster. So if you saw my video from yesterday, you will have seen that this is as far as I had gotten, and I needed to frog the remainder of this to get the yarn to keep working on this. I very much like it with the 9mm. It's much more drapier. I probably could have gone bigger, but if you read my post, you know that I start off with smaller hooks and work my way up, so I can only go so far away from where I start. And this time I started with a 6 instead of a 4 or 4.5. And in the last one I worked my way up to a 6, and this one I worked my way up to a 9. That's so that it will stay even, otherwise the piece will just kind of shrink because it's slip stitch back loop only, and my pieces tend to like get shrunk in the middle sort of, so I wanted to avoid that. So anyways, I started working on frogging this, and it is painfully tedious to frog. I went to my church group thinking, oh, I'll just sit there, and after about an hour in, one of the guys there said, what are you doing? And so I told them the whole story and how I'm trying to salvage like $17 worth of yarn. And at one point I got up and went to the bathroom, and when I came back there, my yarn, this was gone. And there was a $20 bill sitting on my seat, and I was like, come on guys. They're like, just go get more yarn. I'm like, it's like 45 minutes from my house. No, and they're like, please, we're begging you. So anyways, today is going to be spent finishing frogging this. I figured out a shortcut by using like fingernail clippers to cut the tiny little fibers that are actually what's catching it up. And then I'll get a few more, and so that's actually been really helpful. So hoping to frog at least the next skein and get it put into this today. We'll see. It's rainy, it's crappy, it's a great day to sit and crochet. I'm covered in Snoopy from head to toe, even my socks. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so it's a few hours later, and I have been able to salvage 2 more skeins from the super dense scarf. It's disturbing though, because the dye lots are so close and yet so different. This one has a slightly more shiny sheen, and this one is slightly fluffier. This one's also slightly whiter, and this one's slightly more ecru, I guess you could call it. So that being said, my husband just texted me, and he happens to be working up in the town 45 minutes away that has a Hobby Lobby, that he might be able to go find me some replacement yarn. And yes, he's totally willing to go do that. So once he is done with work, he is going to stop by the store and do some FaceTiming so we can decide on whether or not we even continue with this yarn at this point. So yes, I've wasted tons of hours making the scarf, frogging the scarf, starting the new scarf. I should have included you in the scarf saga from the beginning, but I didn't. So that being said, that gives me the opportunity to begin working on the other one, and I'm just gonna get going on it because there's no time to waste. So I just started chaining it just to test what hook size I want to start with, and I am gonna start it with a 5, and then probably do the first row in the 5.5, and then do the moss stitch in the 6, because that ends up being super tight for me once I get going. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next little clip.
Because it's easy, for instance, to go from C to F.
Okay, it's getting late, but I wanted to get back with one more update. We're still at just this wide for the white one, because some yarn might have come my way late this afternoon. This is the same exact yarn, although it's a different dye lot. So I'm gonna try a few rows and see if it works. These are big fat skeins of a different type of yarn that I wasn't really in love with, but it would make the whole scarf, and they're the same dye lot. So I guess if I had to start over completely, I could use this. So that's still up in the air. In the time lapse, I had started the other scarf, and I ended up not liking that first row that I did, because I had put a single crochet in every stitch of my chain, which actually was doing moss stitch, so I need to undo it. And then I decided to go 1 hook size smaller, and then I was just working on it for a bit while I was sitting here chatting with my husband, I didn't feel like recording. So anyways, this is how far I got in the natural moss stitch, which I'm actually really digging. I wish it was brighter, but it's dark out. So anyways, that's where I'm at for that. So maybe slightly more encouraging news at this moment. We'll see where I get before I get too tired and head to bed, which may be pretty soon. I don't know. I've been not sleeping good lately, so we'll see. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, so after all that, it's probably hard to tell, but these are somehow 3 drastically different yarns, even though they're the same yarn, which is Tender Touch Yarn Bee in Snow. And what's different about them, slightly the dye lot. I can almost tolerate that. The sheen is also different. This is super fluffy. This is kind of middle fluffy, and this is almost like shiny. So I'm actually super confused by how different they are. I don't know now. So I don't like the other one because it just seems ropey to me, and I am not just as big a fan, but I may do a test swatch and just see what it looks like. That being said, I'm kind of like over the white for the day right now, and I'm kind of having fun with this one, so I'm gonna pick that up for a little bit until I go to sleep and look at the white in the morning when I have daylight coming in the window. So see you in the next video. It's getting late, so I want to try to get this edited and posted before I go to bed, which is probably super ambitious, but that's okay. So this is about as far as I made with my moss stitch scarf, which I do like. I think it's got a nice feel to it, and I will block it and it will get a lot more drapey. But I worked up to a 5.5 hook, so that might just work. I'm using cotton yarn for this one. I also forgot to mention in the last little clip that I had 2 skeins that I bought last weekend at Michael's, and they were a slightly creamier color. So I have lots of options for the white, and then we'll just have to see where it goes. I'm gonna check it out in the light tomorrow, determine if I'm gonna finish it or just give her a bag of skeins of yarn and say, pick what you want, because I don't know. So anyways, that's what I've got for today. So I'll see you in the next video.